Good morning. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Key. Now being called the Dynasty Football Key. Really focused on Dynasty this offseason and want to bring a one quarterback rookie mock draft so we can talk about more of the skill positions. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. All right. Okay, so no surprise here. At the 101, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr. At the 102, we've got Malik Neighbors. At the 103, we have Rome Odunze. At the 104, we've got Brock Bowers. At the 105, I think this is where different folks' opinion can start coming into play, at least from what I've been seeing from consensus. I've got Brian Thomas Jr. here, uh, based on a lot of NFL mock drafts. He seems to be getting steamed up higher and higher. At the 106, I have Troy Franklin. 107, Keon Coleman. Really, here is where I'm willing to start taking a look at these high-end quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels has an opportunity to produce in fantasy as if he's a top 5 fantasy football producer. He's going to have that in the skill set. Rushing touchdowns are worth more than passing touchdowns. Ends up giving him a little bit more of a floor than some of these other quarterbacks, like the one I have right behind him, Caleb Williams, here at the 109. Believe he has an ability to just be your set it and forget it quarterback. One quarterback league. So I really like what he offers. At the 110, Jonathan Brooks, first running back here off the board. And, the more we get into these, I'm looking at these at Jonathan Brooks and trying to imagine the position that folks will be in. I'm starting to think people are going to be hesitant to draft an injured running back since he won't be able to test at the combine, and all of these other running backs are going to put up some good numbers. And I can definitely see Jonathan Brooks start to slide, and that's okay. There's here at the 111, Bucky Irving. I like him. I like his ability to produce for fantasy as a PPR back. So in PPR leagues, really excited about him. And at the final pick in the first round, I've got Drake Maye just because I do see a lot of upside with Drake Maye, and he'd be the last quarterback I'd take in this class. Some of the other quarterbacks do not have rushing upside, and without knowing their draft capital, they're just much riskier to even consider at this point when you've got a lot of other talent left on the board. So to start the second round, Adonai Mitchell, red zone threat. At the 202, I've got Devontae Walker. Really, he and the guy at the 203, Xavier Worthy, they have a lot of speed that they can offer. I just see their draft capital being day 2 at worst. Second round is where I can see these guys going. At the 204, Jatavian Sanders. With the scarcity at tight end, I can definitely see people pulling the trigger on Sanders. I would guess these next 2 running backs, maybe some others may go ahead of him. But we've seen some of the success of these other tight ends. Maybe that pushes the tight end of the board. I would, if I'm making picks here, I'm probably taking Trey Benson ahead of Jatavian Sanders and Braylon Allen. So here's the 205, Trey Benson. Great contact balance, great speed. I think he'll put up some good metrics here at the combine next month. At the 206, Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen, big body, young running back. So I think people are really going to like being able to have a young running back that they can plug and play for quite some time. 207, Jalen Pope showed that he can produce at a high level with Michael Penix Jr. alongside Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan. like what Jalen Polk can offer. Lad McConkey, another good receiver out of UG. Malachi Corley. And I could see some of these running backs going ahead here, like at the 210, Blake Corum. Definitely can see folks wanting to push the button on him since he had a good showing in the national championship game. At the 211, Ray Davis. At the 212 to end the second round, Cody Schrader. So some good running back options. At this point, 7 running backs through the second round. And then it looks like in the next round, I've got another 7. So 14 running backs in this draft. We're going to see where they land. And actually, looks like just 13. I've got Johnny Wilson here in the wrong color. Let's go ahead and fix that. There we go. Okay, let's go through the third round here. So Xavier Legette, just really kind of a freak size speed athlete. So I could definitely see taking him in the second round over some of these running backs, or we'll see where he lands. I definitely see him being a second rounder potentially. At the 302, Marshawn Lloyd. 303, Audric Estime. 304, Will Shipley. 305, Jalen McMillan. 306, Jacob Cowing. So halfway through the third round, 3 receivers, 3 running backs. I think these running backs, Marshawn Lloyd may have a little more explosiveness. The other 2 are more solid. These receivers, Jalen McMillan, he's got good hands, and I think it's likely to be a third round to maybe day 3 capital. So we're just gonna have to see where he lands. Same with Jacob Cowing. He's more of a Tank Dell body size. So for that to work out, he's got to get paired with the right quarterback and not be buried on the depth chart. Okay, 307, Ben Sinnott, Loman Award winner for the best fullback. He'll be playing tight end in the NFL, most likely. But he can block. Teams are going to definitely take him on day 2. Cade Stover out of Ohio State, tight end, here at the 308. And then at the 309, we've got Jalen Wright. 310, Chase McClellan. 311, Johnny Wilson. And 312, Carson Steele. So definitely some options here. If you're looking at some tiers, I would say, once we get into, past these tight ends in the third round, I'm just going to be taking running backs for the most part. Maybe you take one of those other quarterbacks that we didn't show. It's just at that point, I mean, I do know there's other receivers that are going to be worth taking. It's just we're going to have to see that draft capital. We're going to need to see who goes where to really want to invest in those guys, because they're still the 4th and 5th round in most of our rookie drafts. So we got to take someone. Maybe we can figure out who that next year's Puka Nacua Light might be. There's not going to be another record-breaking rookie wide receiver, I don't think, in consecutive seasons. So it's going to be hard to replicate that. Still, we'll see if we can find someone close to that, find someone close to the next Tank Dell, see who might break out for us. I think a lot of these running backs can be on a Kyron Williams type trajectory of having a year 1 sitting behind a back and then getting opportunity. There's some who maybe more on the Devon Chain type of path as far as just jumping into a committee back. That's what happened with Jahmyr Gibbs, even Bijan Robinson. Most of the time, it's going to be a committee scenario, but there are some spots where there can be a year wait, and then they're the lead back. So we'll see what happens. Just wanted to put out another draft for the one QB crew out there. And thank you guys for listening to the Dynasty Football Key. Have a good Tuesday. Talk to you soon.